It could be said that Guy Ritchie's new film, The Wrath of Man, perfectly encapsulates the director's career. You see, the first act starts off pretty strong with Lock, Stock and Snatch, and then the second act just kind of dies on its arse with Swept Away and Revolver. It kind of has a little bit of a resurgence with Sherlock Holmes and Rock and Roller. The third act had an impossible task after starting with Aladdin and King Arthur. However, it does hit peak Guy Ritchie with The Gentleman, a movie I love, before it kind of maybe falls off the face of the earth with The Wrath of Man. In other words, much like Guy Ritchie's filmography, this movie's a mixed bag. Let's get into it. That's right, folks. My name is Kevin Halden, and you are listening or watching Nerdly Out Loud, the official podcast channel YouTube thing of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. We cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, with a special keen interest in your more indie fare. My last review that I did was Initiation, quite a low budget movie out right now. You should definitely check out that film. It was a thriller slasher that I thoroughly enjoyed. We are dealing with a bit more bigger budget. We are going down the Guy Ritchie road because he has teamed up with the Jason Statham, their fourth outing to date, and boy howdy was I looking forward to this. Did I just say boy howdy? I did just say boy howdy. I am so sorry. After The Gentleman, I was really looking forward to seeing this movie. Like, I kind of felt like Guy Ritchie was back. Matthew McConaughey in a Guy Ritchie movie. What's not to love? Hugh Grant in a role so unlike anything Hugh Grant's ever done. And now we get Wrath of Man, so the boys are teaming up. Statham's back. He's going to be kicking ass. First of all, please do remember, we cannot survive, we cannot thrive unless you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell, and it will give you notifications whenever we drop a new episode. I would be also grateful because it helps the algorithm. They see that and they see people giving us love, and that's all we need is a little bit of love. It will spur me on to give you some more fantastic reviews, bring on some more interviews. We've got a few incoming. I am working very closely with the Romford Film Fest, so I'm going to be doing some interviews for that as well. Some cracking movies in there, so you're going to be getting some of the horror stuff and then some of the normal festival as well. I've also got a few things coming up with other directors, that just movies that I've been watching recently and thoroughly enjoyed and been reaching out, and these guys are coming back to me and let's do this. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more coming, so please do hit that subscribe, ding that bell. You maybe know someone who loves their movies as a cinephile and would like to hear one asshole's thoughts on a movie, and I am that asshole. And we've got some other interesting things coming up, but I don't want to spoil anything right now. Otherwise, the big man upstairs, Mr. Phil Wheat, the commander-in-chief over at nerdly.co.uk, will find me, I guess. Let's do The Wrath of Man. So we're going to keep it simple and we're going to follow a little bit of a formula. Last time I did this, we kind of went stories, then we went cast, and then we went overall thoughts and what I did and didn't like. So we're going to keep going with that kind of thing, and we will start with the story. You can't really say this is going to be an original story because it is a remake. This time he is covering 2004's French movie Cash Truck starring Jean Dujardin. If you saw The Artist a couple of years back, people loved that movie. He was the main guy in that. If you've seen that movie, awesome, you know what you're getting. But if you haven't seen that movie, again, it's still not really all that original. It is a story about a cash truck carries millions of dollars all around Los Angeles. There's a team of guys who all work together all the time. On this particular day, we meet Jason Statham. Actually, no, let's do a Guy Ritchie thing and go a little bit further back. Non-linear reviews, that's what I like to see. So, yeah, at the start of the movie, there is a cash truck robbery. We don't see it from the traditional standpoint of the robbery. We kind of sit inside the cash truck. We don't really get to see what's going on. We just get to hear the shenanigans and the things going wrong, because as all bank robberies do in a movie, they all go wrong. We kind of see a little bit of the aftermath, but not much, and I actually really like that as a style choice. I thought Guy Ritchie is showing some maturity chops here by not just running and gunning and showing us the action, it cuts like a month forward, and we meet Jason Statham. And Statham is joining the team, the cash truck team. And he is coming in on his first day. He's pretty good at shooting, but he's not amazing. He's pretty good at driving, but he's not amazing. And the rest of the team think he's a bit of a rookie. And they're all just kind of like hazing him, giving him shit. And of course, it's a movie. So we also know that there's something else going on. The guys do kind of start to figure out that not all is what it seems with our main character, H, as Statham is called. I hate the fact that they called him H. And then they do this thing where, like, the other lead, Holt McCallany, who's a fantastic actor, by the way, he calls himself Bullet. So I was kind of thinking, like, are all these guys going to have cool nicknames? That's pretty much just them two. I mean, a couple of other guys get called stuff like Scottish Jimmy, or not that I was really all that invested in anyone at that point. They have a couple of armed robberies, and Statham kicks into high gear, kills all of the would-be robbers without prejudice. That's not a spoiler, because it's all over the trailers. Guy Ritchie does his usual Guy Ritchie thing and goes with the non-linear, which I mentioned beforehand. So there are 2 points in this movie that literally does almost a hard reset and shows you the events leading up to here. You kind of see the progression of Statham getting to the point where he needs to be, and then they do a hard reset and they go back and they show everything from Statham's point of view in a different way, and the things he was doing before he joined the team. You get to figure out who Statham is a little bit. You get to figure out where he's coming from. Very introspective role for this guy, so it's all good. But it then does another hard reset and goes back and tells you the story from another perspective, that of the main bank robbers. So it does that, which, again, I'm okay with it. I didn't mind it. Did I need this movie to be reset twice? It's a 2-hour movie, which isn't that long these days. I mean, 2 hours is pretty much your standard movie fare. But my only thing is, if you are going to do this and if you are going to bring me new characters, let me invest in these characters and we can go forward. Let's jump into the cast, because I feel like I'm getting quite down on the story. As a Transporter fan back in the day, and as a Fast and Furious fan right now, I know exactly what I'm getting from Jason I punched a megalodon in the friggin' eyeball Statham. I know what's coming with this guy. I know he's going to throw some hands, he's going to shoot some guns, and it's all going to be awesome. But this time, he's teaming up with his good old friend Guy Ritchie, and the two of them are going back in the snatch. Don't think that came out right. So this time round, Holt McCallany. I love this guy. Like, back in the days, did you ever see that movie Losers, based on the graphic novel? I love Losers, and I think Holt is brilliant in that. He did that TV show, I think it was on Netflix, like Mindhunters or Minesweepers, or something about the serial killers where they're doing the interviews. It was all the rage for a little while. So he did that. And then you've also got Jeffrey Donovan, you know, Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows represent. But that's kind of where it stops in terms of using your talent. Because this movie, I mean, if you ever want to see an underutilized, great ensemble cast, then look no further. Wrath of Man is your movie. We have the awesome Eddie Marsan, Rob Delaney. I mean, there's two Hobbs and Shaw people right off the bat. Then you've got Josh Hartnett. Oh my God, getting one or two scenes and not doing anything. Alex Ferns, who is picking up role after role right now. An amazing Scottish actor that I highly rate. If you want to see a great movie with Alex Ferns in it, check out James Kermack's Knuckle Dust. Fantastic. Then you got Scott Eastwood, another Fast and the Furious family member, and Raul Castillo, who has recently been tearing up the screen in Netflix's Army of the Dead. So here you are. You've got an ensemble cast. I truly feel like Guy Ritchie had some of the best tools to do this job and to make a great ensemble movie. Something Guy Ritchie has always been known to do. Even Revolver has a wonderful cast. Not a great movie, but it's a wonderful cast. I do get it. He was trying something different. He's using different people. I get all that. That is fine. But if you're going to use these people, use them. Do something with them. I mean, Josh Hartnett's in this movie. He's like third build or something in the opening credits, third or fourth build. He has maybe 3 or 4 scenes and does nothing. Nothing. So once again, I've gone a little bit down, so I am going to jump into the what I liked section of this Wrath of Man review. And the things that I liked is Jason Statham. He's bloody brilliant. He is Jason Statham. He does what he does best. The robbers come in, he pulls out a gun and starts gunfighting, shooting people, punchy fists, doing all the Jason Statham things we know and love. And that's what we pay our money for. That's what we want to see the movie for. And that's what it's all about. Some of the camera work in this movie is brilliant. As I mentioned right back at the start when I was talking about the story, we kind of take it from another angle of where we are looking we're stuck in the van and we're seeing the things going on and we're hearing across the radio and we're seeing through the window, but we are not really part of the robbery. I really like that. It's a nice style choice from Guy Ritchie. I mean, definitely playing with some different angles. In Snatch, in Lock, Stock, in Rock and Roller, in The Gentleman, he's doing all those typical British spinny camera, Dutch angle, whatever you want to call them. But in this one, he's trying to let the camera flow a little bit more. And I appreciated that. It's maturity from a film director that I really enjoy. I wasn't in love with the overall vibe of this movie. I wasn't in love with it. It's kind of like if John Wick was written by Guy Ritchie, if you know what I mean. Like, we've got this watered down Guy Ritchie dialogue, because believe me, it's very watered down. It kind of feels like it wants to be a Guy Ritchie. There's a Guy Ritchie movie just trying to break through and become this amazing thing that it could be. But it's struggling because it's dealing with the constraints of watered down Guy Ritchie dialogue, watered down Guy Ritchie storylines. Just, it all feels a little... you know what? I'm just going to say it. I really didn't want to say this, but it feels like he's still trying to win over that American audience. So he comes out and he does Snatch and he does Lock, Stock, and we all love those. The Brits love that film. Hell, even the Americans, when they got it, they friggin' Brad Pitt wanted to be in that movie based on Lock, Stock. He played a gypsy in Snatch because of Lock, Stock, and this was like pretty much reaching the peak. Brad Pitt can do whatever he wants. So he's won. He's already won. I feel like he's already sold himself to an American audience. But then the Madonna years happened. And I'm not saying he's had a bad career. He's had a very good career. But it's always felt to me like Guy Ritchie is one of those British directors who so badly wants to be loved by the Americans. And that's fine. It's okay. Go and do that. But I don't feel like you have to change your style when they already love your style. Overall, with my final thoughts, I have to say that this is a very, very passable movie. I feel like I've been a little bit down on it. It is a great way to spend 2 hours. You will enjoy yourself. Just don't get too invested in any of the characters, because you ain't going to spend enough time to get to know any of them. They all just are there. They're just kind of pawns to move around the chessboard so that Statham can be the king that comes through and just annihilates everything, or the queen. Yeah, I don't want to say the queen. That sounds terrible. Yeah, I'm not saying the queen. So he's just there to be the forefront of the movie and carry it, which is funny because they kind of write him out for 30 minutes, which was mental. Part of those hard resets I was on about when they tell it from another angle and Statham just disappears, which I didn't hate. I thought it was all right. Jeffrey Donovan's filling up the screen, so that's okay, I guess. Just for me, it's Guy Ritchie trying to make an Americanized movie. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I just don't feel like he needs to do that anymore. Wrath of Man, please do check it out. I would personally give this movie, and I know I'm sitting on the fence, but I'd give this movie a 2.5 out of 5. It ain't great, but it's also not bad. Statham is exceptional in the movie. Poor use of Eddie Marsan, poor use of Josh Hartnett. Alex Ferns, it's a shame. I would have loved to have seen all of these guys play way bigger parts in this film and do way more. But, as always, it's a 2.5. And with that, I'm going to leave you all. But please do hit that subscribe button down below. Please do ding that bell. It will give you a notification whenever we drop more episodes. There will be more coming up. All I have to say is, Guy Ritchie, I have read that you're making a Gentleman TV series. I look forward to seeing that. You are still in my upper echelon of directors. Just this one didn't smash home with me. It was good, but it wasn't great.